Why do some kids grow up with ease while others struggle? Why do some kids get involved in dangerous activities while others spend time contributing to society? Why do some youth beat the odds in difficult situations while others get trapped? Research by Search Institute, a nonprofit research organization, has identified 40 concrete, positive experiences and qualities, developmental assets, that have a tremendous influence on young people's lives, despite economic circumstances, genetics, or trauma. What are the 40 developmental assets? The assets are individual building blocks that help youth grow up to be well-rounded, self-assured, responsible adults who will have a positive impact on society. The 40 developmental assets is not a program that you implement. It's a mindset, a way of thinking about how adults interact with young people. It's looking at the world through young people's eyes before you take actions. The 40 assets can be broken down into 8 basic building blocks for success. Support. Young people need to experience support, care, and love from their families, friends, schools, and others. Empowerment. Young people need to be valued by their community and have opportunities to contribute to others. Boundaries and expectations. Young people need to know what is expected of them and whether activities and behaviors are in bounds or out of bounds. Constructive use of time. Young people need constructive, enriching opportunities for growth. Commitment to learning. Young people need to develop a lifelong commitment to education and learning. Positive values. Youth need to develop strong values that guide their choices. Social competencies. Young people need skills and competencies that equip them to make positive choices, to build relationships, and to succeed in life. Positive identity. Young people need a strong sense of their own power, purpose, worth, and promise. Assets have tremendous power to increase the chances that young people will have positive attitudes and behaviors. This chart, based upon 1 million kids surveyed, shows that youth with the most assets are more likely to be engaged in positive behaviors. Assets can also protect young people from many different harmful or unhealthy choices. This chart illustrates that youth with the most assets are least likely to engage in 4 different patterns of high-risk behavior. So what's the urgency in promoting these assets? Don't our kids believe these assets? Not really. A survey of HEB students taken in 2000 showed that only 8% of our students experienced the highest level of assets, while sadly, 62% of our kids experience fewer than 20 assets. The average number of assets our kids believe is 18.5 assets. Although these assets may seem common sense to us, our youth are not getting the message. To make assets real to kids, it's often a matter of adults reapproaching relationships with kids, reevaluating environments created for youth, or looking at how programs and practices are selected. Let's look at some concrete examples in HEB where the 40-asset philosophy has driven decision-making in these areas. At Central Junior High, one teacher, Mary Shardy, challenged herself to look at how she built relationships with students outside her classroom. The dreaded bus duty was her focus on looking for opportunities to build a caring school climate, asset number 5, and to build an adult support system, asset number 3.
My job at bus duty was to keep order, to make sure that the kids got from the bus into school and not somewhere else where they weren't supposed to be, to make sure they got there in a timely manner and without getting run over by other people who were dropping off people, kids, parents who were dropping off kids, high school kids who were dropping off brothers and sisters, that kind of thing. So it's basically a safety issue. It was just strictly safety, like a flight attendant's job is on an airplane, to maintain proper order, safety of the people that they serve. So that's what our job is as bus duty. After Ellen talked to us about the 40 assets, I decided that I was going to make it something more. I was going to be a one-man greeting team and try to make the kids' days start out with a smile and with knowing that there was someone who was interested in them as a person. And I would try to find things that I could compliment them on, make comments about things I knew they were doing that I had seen them do, or products that they had produced, comments other teachers had made about how their work had turned around, or the superior quality of their work in that particular classroom. And it got to the point where they weren't racing into the building, and they actually would talk to me. It wasn't just waiting for me to have a comment, but it was kind of like, "Hey, Miss Jardy, how are you doing today?" And there was a real exchange. Not exactly equals, but it wasn't a teacher-student kind of thing anymore. It was a person-to-person kind of thing.
Creating an asset-friendly environment and selecting practices that promote assets has been a focus at South Euless Elementary. The practice of school announcements being done by students has created an environment where students feel confident in planning daily programming, asset number 32, and are totally responsible for completing the announcements, asset number 30.
Alex comes in every morning and he's ready and he knows what to do, and they just do it. All I do is unlock the door now, and they're prepared, they're ready. They come, they get on the internet in the morning and get their information, and if there's a problem printing something out, they'll let me know. But most of the time everything goes like clockwork, and they get here on time. They know it is their responsibility to come on time and be prepared and be ready.
Asset building is happening with these students at South Euless, like asset number 15, positive peer influence.
Well, it sometimes makes me more confident because the smaller children usually look up to us because they're the ones that they see every day on TV.
Asset number 8, youth as resources.
It's really important to me because a lot of students tried out for this and only a few made it, so it makes me feel like I accomplished something and I get here every morning.
Asset number 40, positive view of personal future.
It gives me this feeling like that I'm a more independent person and that I'll be ready for more stuff in the future. So now I have the feeling that I'm prepared for later times that this will happen.
Asset number 36, peaceful conflict resolution.
I get along with people I've never gotten along with. I feel like a new person.
At Trinity High School, the practice of art students developing the front cover of their student planners is a great example of the asset philosophy in action. Bonding to school, asset number 24, and setting high expectations, asset number 16, are clearly a result of this practice at Trinity.
One of the things we try to do here at Trinity High School is connect all of our students to something that's important here at school, to give them some ownership and to feel that they are a part. Part of putting that together is putting together our student planner, which we have managed to do the last 4 years. You'll see some covers up here. We asked Susan Kaufman, who's in charge of our media art program, to help our students develop some covers for our planner. Originally, we started out with a stock cover here from the company that was original, and then the students started developing our planners here through the year. The second planner was used in a national media campaign for the company who creates the planners for us. This gives our students some connection to the school. The kids, it's a fun way to start out to say, we've got somebody here at school who actually developed this. This planner goes in the hands of every student here at Trinity High School.
It's kind of fun to watch because as the kids come up with their own individual ideas, then they begin to become very reclusive at the same time because they don't want anybody to steal their ideas. And at the same time, they tend to help each other quite a bit because how do I do this? I forgot which layer this was on. How do I get this to show up? How do I hide this? So they also work together, which is kind of neat to see the teamwork.
The first year, we decided to give the person that actually created this planner cover $100 plus being able to include it in her portfolio. The first year, the $100 was given to a senior. It was just ironic that the senior needed the $100 to go to prom. So she used the $100 to provide a $50 ticket for her and her date to go to prom, which enabled her to complete her senior year. So this has been a great program, and it involves the kids, and it really gives them purpose in their art classes to maybe what they'll be doing in the future.
I chose colors red, black, and Trinity School colors because I could relate to them and my classmates could relate to them, and they would know that was a Trinity student planner because of the colors, and it stood out. This big T was for Trinity. I got that the idea from our pep rallies because everybody would be like T's up, and so I just put T's and I put a big old T right here in the middle. We started getting competitive, and it was good because everybody started getting into it, and so by the end of the when it came to the deadline, Coach Kaufman would come in and everybody's like, wait, I gotta change mine. Everybody's like, because at the beginning, everyone's like, oh, yeah. At the end, everyone's like, yeah.
Developing and choosing programs with the assets in mind is best demonstrated by the HEB book swap. Knowing that only 26% of HEB students believe that community values youth, asset number 7, was true for them, the school district's Make a Difference committee wanted to use a process that would address this asset.
Our committee sat down one day in the summer of 2001 and started to brainstorm about what that project should be. And then we stopped and we took a moment and pulled out the 40 developmental assets. And this is where we realized that our own students had previously been surveyed and asked questions about the 40 developmental assets. And that's when we decided, let's not pick the project ourselves. Why don't we ask our students what that project should be? And that's because, according to the history on this project, we found out that in our own survey, only 26% of our HEB youth felt that the community valued young people. And that's asset number 7. We had 10 groups of students from 10 different classes suggested some kind of a reading project. The committee selected ideas from all those 10. We put it together into one idea, and that became the HEB Better Readers book swap. So now we took it a step further and decided to recognize all of those 10 groups so they would realize how important they were. So we actually went into all 10 classrooms and gave them a party. We explained that their ideas were so helpful that they were going to be put into a big event, and we told them what day it would be, and we told them, because of you, we know this will be a success. And then we went another step further, and we actually provided a certificate of achievement to every class that had submitted an idea. We could have picked a project. We could have picked a book swap. We could have, as a committee, told the kids, this is how it's going to work, and these are the rules, and this is what we need you to do. But because we took a different approach, and we let the students submit the ideas, we let the students set the parameters, and we pulled them together and made it one big book swap, that I think is why it was such a success that it was supposed to be a one-time event, and it is now an annual event.
The 40 asset philosophy is not hard. It's not rocket science. But it does require that a person, a school, an organization focus with intention on making these assets real for kids. Our students have told us through surveys that not all assets ring true. We should let this data guide us when we focus on building relationships, creating environments, and selecting programs and practices.